All right, let's take a quick look at what happened on the second season of Good Omens. We left off season 1 with most things reset, and Crowley and Aziraphale acting as independent agents, having escaped punishment by swapping bodies. To start season 2, we go way back to Crowley as an angel, lovingly creating a nebula. Aziraphale happens by, and they meet for the first time, with Crowley being disappointed finding out his hard work will not be enjoyed as humans will be destroyed in just 6,000 years. Back to present day, we are introduced to Aziraphale's neighboring shop owners. Maggie runs a record store and has a crush on Nina, who runs a coffee shop. All seems well until a naked man shows up knocking on the bookshop door. Aziraphale recognizes him at once as the Archangel Gabriel, but he seems to have no memory of who he is. He claims he knew he had to come here and give Aziraphale the box, but there appears to be nothing in it. Meanwhile, Crowley is visited by Hell's representative Shax, who tells him something is up in heaven. He goes to see Aziraphale and spots Gabriel. They argue about what to do, Crowley wanting to take him somewhere and leave him. Remember, it was actually Crowley in disguise who Gabriel tried to destroy at the end of last season? But the angel wants to help him and says Crowley can just go. In heaven, they are trying to find Gabriel, warning of extreme sanctions if anyone is helping him. After leaving, Crowley is visited by Beelzebub, who has a new face. They say Crowley could be accepted back in hell if he finds Gabriel. The stakes are high because anyone found involved in Gabriel's disappearance will be erased from the Book of Life. Crowley returns to the bookshop, accidentally trapping Maggie and Nina in the coffee shop with his demon magic. They have a good conversation, but Nina has a partner, so Maggie is left wanting. Crowley is forced to apologize with the apology dance. In order to hide Gabriel, Aziraphale and Crowley decide to each perform half a miracle, hoping that won't be enough to attract attention from either side. The miracle works, but it does set off alarms in heaven. In 2500 BC, the biblical story of Job is taking place. Crowley is granted a permit for the horrible things that happened to Job, but Aziraphale is appalled at the idea of God sacrificing the children over a bet. Aziraphale tries to stop him, but uncovers that Crowley hasn't been quite as evil as he let on, merely turning the sacrificed goats into birds instead. The angel and demon then work together to fool the other angels into thinking the children have been killed by turning them into lizards during an explosion. Aziraphale then exploits the angel's lack of knowledge of human birth to give Job and his wife their kids back. This appears to be the first time Aziraphale went against the will of God, and he thinks he will be made a demon. Crowley just laughs, saying nothing has to change. In modern day, Aziraphale notices Gabriel, calling him Jim, is singing a song. It seems like his memory might be starting to come back, but his human mind can't handle it, so it shuts off again. Talking to Maggie about the song Gabriel was singing, Aziraphale finds out it's Every Day by Buddy Holly. She also tells him about a pub in Edinburgh that says every album they play turns into this song. Archangels visit Aziraphale and ask him about the miracle that set off heaven's alarms. Michael looks right at Gabriel and doesn't recognize him. Aziraphale claims that the miracle was to make Maggie and Nina fall in love, and the angels say they will be demanding proof. Crowley reluctantly lends Aziraphale the car to investigate the pub in Edinburgh, while he stays behind to work on Operation Lovebirds, which is getting Nina and Maggie to fall in love. An awning in the rain, he says, it works every time. Through Aziraphale's diary entry, we see him and Crowley looking at a statue of Gabriel in the 19th century Edinburgh. They meet a young grave robber, Elspeth, who sells corpses to feed herself and her friend Morag. Aziraphale disapproves of the act and ruins the corpse. Then, the doctor, known as the Resurrectionist, explains that he uses the corpses to learn and teach medicine, thereby saving lives. Then, Aziraphale changes his mind and they attempt to help Elspeth get another corpse. Morag is hit by a trap and killed. Elspeth sells her corpse and steals poison to join her friend. Crowley drinks the poison before she can and then makes Aziraphale give her money, helping her out of poverty. In the present, heaven sends Muriel to investigate Aziraphale's miracle. Crowley sees through her ruse easily, calling her Inspector Constable. He is easily able to fool the naive angel. He enacts his grand plan for Operation Lovebirds, But instead of finding love, Nina and Maggie get drenched when the awning rips. In Edinburgh, Aziraphale finds the pub where the records are changing. It's named after the doctor they once knew. The barkeep remembers Gabriel being there, and that he was with someone. In the 1940s, Shax was making moves in Hell and recruits fellow intake demon Furfur to find proof that an angel and demon are working together. When 3 Nazi agents show up talking of Crowley and Aziraphale, he sends them back as zombies to get proof of the two working together. Aziraphale offers to fill in for a missing magician in the West End, and he and Crowley work on his act, eventually ending up at a magic shop where Aziraphale decides to try the infamous bullet catch trick, with Crowley as his marksman. The zombies follow and call Furfur in time to take a picture of them working together during the performance. When Furfur confronts Crowley, he shows them the picture that will doom them both. Aziraphale employs some sleight of hand and switches out the picture, causing Furfur to be embarrassed in front of the Dark Council. In the present, Shax visits Aziraphale in Crowley's car and is able to discern that Gabriel is at the bookshop. She reports to Beelzebub, who encourages her to storm the place with a horde of demons. Aziraphale decides to use the monthly shopkeepers' meeting to try and get Nina and Maggie together at last. He persuades the other proprietors to come by, offering some of his precious books in trade. Inspired by Jane Austen, he transforms the shop into a ball. Shax rallies and leads the demons toward the bookshop. Nina receives more unpleasant messages from her partner Lindsay, and they break up. Crowley convinces her to come by the meeting anyway, and she immediately clocks how strange everyone is acting. Crowley is concerned that demons are surrounding the shop, but Aziraphale insists on a dance while they talk about it. A brick is thrown through the window, saying, "Surrender the angel." Shax threatens the humans if they don't turn Gabriel over to them. Gabriel attempts to surrender, but they don't recognize him and continue to threaten the humans. Crowley stalls them with some technical hell jargon he made up, banking on them being too stupid to look it up. Crowley evacuates the humans, but Maggie refuses to leave Aziraphale behind on his own, so Nina stays too. They wait for Crowley to return, Aziraphale assuring them that he always has a plan, but Crowley finds Muriel and insists that he be arrested and taken to heaven. While Aziraphale uncovers his angelic symbol, Maggie stands up to Shax, but then accidentally invites the demons in. They are able to use the symbol to discorporate many of the demons, but are reduced to fire extinguishers to push them back from the stairs. Crowley arrives in heaven and immediately coerces Muriel to take him to the records, where they watch what happened to Gabriel. Heaven was about to deploy another Armageddon when Gabriel said, "Nah." He was then put on trial, where he accepted his removal from heaven without question. They decide to demote him instead, but he takes off his clothes and leaves before they can erase his memory. Back on Earth, Aziraphale and the ladies are about to be overwhelmed when he decides desperate measures must be taken. He takes off his halo and tosses it among the demons, who are all incapacitated. When asked what just happened, he dramatically says he may have just declared war. Crowley returns to the bookshop with the archangels when Beelzebub and minions appear as well. All are prepared for the war declaration. Crowley calls them all idiots and looks for Gabriel's box. On the bottom it says, "I am in the fly." Beelzebub helps find the fly in question and returns it to Gabriel. Suddenly the memories come flooding back, and we see that Gabriel and Beelzebub had been meeting in secret for a long while, slowly nurturing a romantic relationship. The pub with the records was a common meeting place for them. Shax calls them traitors, but Beelzebub simply says, "I found something that mattered to me more than choosing sides." Crowley ushers Maggie and Nina away, instructing them to pretend like none of it happened. The angels and demons are arguing about what to do with the traitors when Aziraphale takes charge and asks what they want to do. They opt for banishment together, and they disappear while singing the Everyday song. Shax sees the opportunity and vows to take credit in front of the Dark Council and be made a Duke of Hell. Then, the Metatron shows up, sending the archangels back to heaven and asking Aziraphale to go for a stroll. While he's gone, Nina talks with Crowley, asking him to quit interfering with her and Maggie's lives. She advises that he and Aziraphale need to talk to each other. "You never say what you're really thinking." and Crowley decides to tell Aziraphale how he feels. On the stroll, the Metatron offers Aziraphale the Supreme Archangel position, and even says they will allow him to make Crowley an angel again. Before Crowley can say his feelings, Aziraphale blurts out everything, looking very excited. Crowley is upset that Aziraphale didn't immediately say no. Crowley wants them to run away together, and Aziraphale wants them to be together in heaven. Crowley decides to leave, but as he walks out, he turns back and says, "We could have been us," then kisses him. Aziraphale says, "I forgive you," but Crowley says, "Don't bother," and leaves. So Aziraphale leaves with the Metatron, and Muriel will take over his bookshop. As they board the elevator, the Metatron reveals the next step in the great plan. He says, "We call it the Second Coming." And that's where we leave Good Omens Season 2. A quick note to keep an eye on: while we missed many of the beloved characters from Season 1, several of the actors are back playing different characters in Season 2. Here's just a few that I spotted. Nina was Sister Mary Loquacious, Maggie was Sister Teresa Garrulus, Shax was Madame Tracy, and Furfur was William Shakespeare. Did you catch any that I missed? It's my understanding that many of them will be back for the movie as well, so keep your eye out for some familiar faces. And thanks for watching. As always, leave a like and subscribe if you find value in what I do, and I will see you in the next video.